Senate Bill 233 by Senator Skinner, an act relating to healing arts and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Senator Skinner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, pleased to present SB 233, which will temporarily allow licensed medical professionals, specifically Arizona doctors, to be able to get a temporary medical license in California in order to practice in California to provide abortion care to their Arizona patients who travel to California. These provisions sunset on November 30th, 2024. Arizonans, beginning on June 6th, face a total abortion ban based on an 1864 law. That ban triggers 2 to 5 year prison sentences for doctors who provide care and other sentencing for any woman who receives such care. Now, while I'm sure you've read, the Arizona legislature has now rescinded the 1864 law. And I guess you're wondering, why do we need this law today? Because, like California, you know, when we pass a law, even when the governor signs it, it doesn't come into effect until a certain period of time after our session. In most cases, in our session, it would start in January 1st of the following year. In Arizona, bills take effect 90 days after the end of their session. Their session is not scheduled to end until the end of July. Thus, Arizonans will not have such protection until at least the end of October or November. This is why SB 233 is still needed. And under 233, the Arizona doctor must hold and verify that they have a medical license in good standing from Arizona and must have performed at least one abortion under their Arizona license within the last 2 years. This bill also provides protection, privacy protection, for those physicians and surgeons. And with that, I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Skinner. That's an aye vote on Assembly amendments to be concurred in. Right. Senator Nilo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Everything that my colleague from Berkeley just said is true, but she left something out, and that is that the governor of Arizona, through executive order, is prohibiting local district attorneys from prosecuting under the Civil War era law, and only the Attorney General can. And the Attorney General has said that their office will decline to enforce that Civil War era law. So the relevant period of this enablement is about 4 weeks, but in Arizona, it's not going to be needed.
Thank you, Senator Nilo. Senator Wahab.
Thank you. I rise in support of SB 233. I will say that this is life-saving care for many women. We cannot overstate this enough. More specifically, I want to highlight the fact that as much as possible, as much as we talk about women's rights, the decision over one's body is still in question here in the United States. Maternal mortality rate in the United States is so much worse than nearly any other developed country. In 2022, there were 22.3 deaths per 100,000 live births. These rates are far worse when we shift our lens to women of color. Specifically, California is the state where we try to provide for every single community, including our neighbors who are struggling. It was also the Arizona Attorney General's call to action that prompted this effort from a neighboring state like the state of California. So I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Any further discussion or debate? Seeing none, Senator Skinner, you may close.
Thank you. In response to my colleague from Fair Oaks, and I hope I have the correct jurisdiction, I think, as he well knows, and all of us know, and I know that governors would like their executive orders to have the force of statute. They unfortunately do not. And while in most cases, entities like prosecutors or others will follow an executive order, the executive order does not have the force of law. And so one could imagine there could be circumstances where there would be prosecutors in Arizona who do not agree with the governor, as you had a court in Arizona who allowed the upholding of as you mentioned, a Civil War era law, a law which I will note was passed when women could not vote, when women could not own property, when it was legal for husbands to beat women, and a variety of other things I could list, but I won't go further. So our law is still needed. I hope that the cases, that there is no prosecutor who chooses to defy the governor of Arizona's executive order, but at least we will be acting in such a way that Arizona doctors will be able to determine how best to meet their medical obligations to their patients, and Arizona women who require this essential health care would be able to obtain it. And with that, I ask for your aye vote.
All debate having ceased, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Alvarado Gil. Aye. Archuleta. Aye. Ashby. Aye. Atkins. Aye. Becker. Aye. Blakespear. Aye. Bradford. Gabiotto. Aye. Cortese. Aye. Daly. No. Dodd. Aye. Durazo. Aye. Eggman. Glazer. Aye. Gonzalez. Aye. Grove. No. Hurtado. Aye. Jones. No. Laird. Aye. Limon. Aye. McGuire. Menjivar. Aye. Min. Aye. Newman. Aye. Wynn. No. Nilo. No. Achobo. No. Padilla. Aye. Portantino. Aye. Roth. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Searto. No. Skinner. Aye. Small Cuevas. Stern. Aye. Umbert. Aye. Wahab. Aye. Wiener. Aye. Wilk. No.
Please call the absent members.
Allen. Bradford. Aye. Eggman. Aye. McGuire. Small Cuevas. Aye.
On a vote of 30 to 8 on the urgency, 30 to 8 on the measure, the